Thank you
Let's
very much.
go. We are back for our last game of the day. Now, the draft hasn't exactly started quite yet, but that's all right. And just talk about these different teams and there's composition. So last time, just as a reminder, Hazardous was actually playing in our last game. It was the team that had that Amumu, that Malphite, that Syndra, that was putting everyone in their backpack, and Jin Senna. Now, Super Copium is a Kingsland team, pretty much. Just coming back with a vengeance here as Hazardous. Now that we have started the draft, going off with a bang, banning off the Yone as well as the Echo on Team Super Copia.
Yep, a couple more assassins and fighters banned in this first rotation. The Twitch ban coming from Hazard looks like a target ban to me. I'm excited to see that Syndra again for Hazardous. That was just a crazy power pick for them. On top of that, yeah, I want to see. I've never gotten the opportunity to watch Super Copium play, but I've heard some cool things. And there's that Syndra ban.
Yeah, they're scared of it. They should be scared of it.
For sure.
It's a very good Syndra as the Kiki is going to be banned on the team of Hazardous as well. Super Copium going to take away that Morgana. Usually, I feel like when I see a Morgana ban, I'm really, really suspicious of Huck champions. I feel like that's really the only reason why you would bang. Oh, Jesus, ban the Morgana. I swear I can speak English. Probably gonna pick. Yeah, so I'm kind of expecting like Blitz or a Nautilus or a Thresh maybe. But anyways, the Rel will be first pick for
Wow.
Hazardous instantly. No superstition, hesitation on the team of Hazardous there, and Super Copium gonna take the Tristana.
Yeah, that's a switch up for Hazardous. They went for the kiting, more AD carry centric support in Senna last game, and now they're going for hard engage. While Super Copium is going for the Ari Tristana. Interesting picks here as well.
Ari, not a champion that we've seen a lot of. Ari is that skirmishy mid laner that we know and love. But the thing about Ari is that she's not really that good in this current meta. She kind of tends to not do that super well into like fighters and champions that you can just kind of out damage her and stat check her.
Yep.
But regardless, now we have our first phase already done very, very quickly. Hazard is going for the Kaisa as well as the Lee Sin and Super Copium finishing off their first phase with the Urgot.
Yeah, I really like the combination of Kaisa and Rel. Mid game is very strong. Super Copium definitely going for that mid rangey team comp. Tristana until late game is a mid range champion. Ari and Urgot the same. If you get close to these champions, they will burn you down. Ari, a difficult champ to pilot, but piloted by the right player, can be very strong. And Lee Sin just a power pick overall in this meta.
True. And Ari, excuse me, does love those melee champions that
Yep.
she can kite effectively, and Rel, Kaisa, Lee Sin are kind of fitting that bill. I mean, Kaisa is a very low range AD carry. The only thing is that there's also quite a bit of mobility on the team of Hazardous, which Ari doesn't deal too well with. I mean, she's okay with it. Ari is always that kind of like, she can just do whatever and she'll be okay type of champion. As Hazardous here, we have our last bans: Silas, Ivern, Tom Kent, Malphite. Very quick bans here from both teams.
Yeah, Malphite seems like a target ban for the Malphite we saw last game. Tom Kent's just a very, very strong champion right now. And
I agree.
Ivern, interesting ban. Camille coming in for Super Copium. That's interesting. Where is Urgot going to go?
Where is the Urgot going to go? That is the question of the day.
Could be
Uh,
Camille jungle, I guess.
could be a Camille jungle, could be an Urgot jungle, could be an Ari support Urgot. I don't know. I'm just going. I have absolutely no clue what is
Some
going
flex
on
picks
Team
here.
Super Copia. Yeah, there are some flex picks, of course. Kingsland does quite like his flex picks. Anyways, Hazard is going to pick up the Cho'Gath and the Cassiopeia. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna have a Cho'Gath top on the team of Hazardous and Cassiopeia mid into, I assume, is an Ari.
That's a classic counter to Ari. When you put down that miasma that prevents dashes, Ari can't ulti. And that's a huge part of Ari's kit. And Cassiopeia can single-handedly lock down Ari, which is normally a pretty mobile champion. Yeah, looking forward to what Super Copium pick last, which I'm
Ooh.
assuming for support, but I guess it is Ari support and Akali mid lane.
Yeah, it looks like if I had to guess Copium's team composition right now, I would guess a Tristana Ari bot lane with an Urgot in the top lane, Camille jungle, and an Akali in the mid lane. But don't quote me on that because a lot of these picks can be flexed.
Yeah, wow. What a twist in the draft there at the end. Just a bunch of flex picks. You got, I guess they're just picking strong champions. Stana, Ari. I haven't seen an Ari support in a long time. I'm assuming that's what it is. I guess it could be Urgot support or something. But looking forward to this game. It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, maybe it's an Ari support taking a page out of Perugia's book, that famous solo queue player that seemingly a lot of people don't like. I'm not sure why, but you know, why not? As yeah, now we have our full team compositions. It looks like Hazardous is looking for a very skirmishy type of composition, I would say. Some pretty decent scaling with the Cassiopeia and the Cho'Gath as well. But definitely looking for lockdown, burst, and then, go from there. While Super Copium, on the other hand, I have no clue what the hell is going on. There's an Akali there, there's an Ari, a Tristana. I mean, you're jumping everywhere with the Camille as well. I don't know, man. Last draft was a bit of a question mark, but this is even more of a question mark.
Yeah. Definitely some skirmishing going on for Super Copian. You got a lot of dashes. Everybody on the team can actually have a dash. Even Urgot has a dash. So it's gonna be difficult to lock them down. I mean, if any of these champions, Camille, Akali, start getting fed, it can cause huge problems for the side of Hazardous. But like you said, I personally enjoy Hazardous team comp a lot more. It's cohesive. You have a lot of CC that can layer on top of each other with the
Yeah.
Kaisa to clean up. It's going to make for a very interesting game. I'm excited to see what happens.
I agree. I really like Hazardous team composition, even though it's not like specifically tailored to one play style or the other. It's pretty flexible. You've got a nice combination of damage, crowd control. I really like it. On the other hand, Super Copium, I don't know what this is going on. It's just a lot of dashes, it looks like.
Yep.
But regardless, this is our final game of the day. So go get some snacks, go get refreshed, hydrate yourself, posture check, whatever you need to do. We'll be right back. Journalism
Getting
sounds like fun.
Yep.
And welcome back to our last and final game of this evening. We are ready. I mean, the first two games were bangers, or we are praying that the last game will also be a banger. Just a little reminder of our sponsor for tonight. We do have Red Bull. We do have No Frills. We do have Powerland, who are giving us all of those wonderful monitors that one of these teams might take home. 144 hertz. Sheesh. And of course, then we also have Jack.org, wonderful mental health institution, as well as Brooklyn Bodega and C'est La Bean. But anyways, it looks like this time it is going to be Super Copium taking the lead on the level 1 invade.
Yeah, no more university teams, which means who knows who's going to win level 1 here. There looks like they're going through the bot lane path, but it was warded. So Hazardous does know what's going on here. No, not looks like they're not going to find anything this time.
Yep. Just looks like cruise through jungle here, put some wards down, maybe wait in this death bush. Okay, I kind of like it.
Yeah, this
I
could
think,
smell trouble. But it looks
yeah.
like Lee Sin's going to start topside anyways, so this may be for naught.
Question is, will they actually be taking this buff, or are they going to leave it alone? Is my question. Okay, it
Looks
looks
like
like
they're looking to take it.
yeah. And let's mention the team compositions, because at the beginning we're like, yo, what is going on with Super Copium's team composition? Now we finally have the actual draft. We have Reese's Pieces on his Camille in the top side with the TP Ignite there. Then we have Urgot in the jungle. Now I am not well informed about this pick. It seems very random to me. And then we have the Akali in the mid lane as well with an Ignite TP. And then we do have the bot lane that we somewhat expected of the Tristana and Ari.
Yeah. I'll just speak a little bit on this top lane matchup. Now, Cho'Gath Camille is a pretty common matchup in the last couple seasons. Both pretty strong picks. The common consensus is that Camille is Cho'Gath is pretty much unplayable into Camille once it gets to a certain point. You can't match her. Camille basically has Cho'Gath's R ultimate on like a 3-second cooldown with her Q. It's about 600 true damage. But Cho'Gath can turn the lane around as we see us fight in the pin lane.
In the mid lane, this Urgot has red buff, slowing down this Cassiopeia. The flash might be in order here, and it will be used to escape out of this level 2 little of a brawl here. As a Hazardous jungle here on the Lee Sin is going to look for a gank here. This Camille gonna use her hook shot. It's gonna be blocked, and actually the resonating strike is very good, extremely good combo there on the top
Wow.
side. But here we have the charm, we have the E from the Akali, and it's gonna be enough damage to take it down. A 1-for-1 trade. Will it be a 2-for-1 in favor of Super Copium? Yes, it will. The TP is gonna be used. The hook shot, the flash out from the Cho'Gath, and Super Copium. They just took the lead.
Plays going on everywhere. The beautiful flash charm by Ari in the mid lane to pick off Cassiopeia, who as we just mentioned, blew her flash earlier in the game, going for a ward in the race. Big plays coming from both teams. You can see the Urgot jungle pick, unorthodox but working.
Yeah, against I don't know what your expectations was, but it was definitely against my expectations. This Urgot pig kind of working out. The Cassiopeia going and looking for, I believe, a ward up in that top side that is actually put down, but getting run down by that Urgot, then having to blow her flash, then getting jumped on by this Ari Tristana that somehow made it all the way to mid lane without me noticing, probably because of all of the other action going on the map.
Yeah, and just like the Red Bull caster decks mentioned, we want to see Hazardous not give up this early game lead as like they did last game, right? They have a very mid-game centered team comp. All they need to do is try not to get too far behind and take over these mid-game team fights as there's a gank in the mid lane.
Okay, that's a lot of good damage onto that Cassiopeia, and the flip backwards will be enough. The damage comes through, and the Lee Sin not going to be able to take down a revenge kill. That's a 0 and 2 Cassiopeia already in the mid lane.
Yeah, and Cassiopeia is all about not falling behind. If you just stay even, you can become a very oppressive champion. But if you fall behind, these champions like Akali, Camille, Tristana, Ari, they're going to hunt you down. And if you're not strong enough to survive that initial burst, it's very difficult for Cassiopeia to survive. As we can see, another gank in the top lane.
Yep, another gank here, looking for that hook shot to get out of the sticky situation. The resonating strike hasn't been used yet. And there it is, it connects, but again, there's not that much damage on the side of Hazardous, and they have to back away. They're not sure where the jungler for Super Copium is, and that's just going to be Reese's Pieces getting out scot-free.
Yeah, the difference between that gank and the last one, Cho'Gath landed his knockup in the last gank. This time, the knockup missed, therefore resulting in Camille getting away.
Yep, absolutely there. Good Camille gaming there on the side of Reese's Pieces, holding that hook shot for as long as possible and dodging out on all the main skill shots and getting away there. If they had vision on the Urgot, maybe that could have gone a little bit better for them. But with no vision, they'll just kind of have to make do with just a bit of pressure. And now, Super Copium, they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this Lee Sin falling further and further behind. He's trying to cover for his mid lane and top lane, but sacrificing his own camps doing that and falling a little bit far behind from this Urgot here, who's already picked up 2 kills and is up a solid 20 CS.
Absolutely. Never thought I would see the day where Urgot Jungle somehow manages to outfarm Lisa in jungle, but it is what it is. Yeah. As maybe this is just some dark tech that I never knew about. Maybe I just have to play more solo queue.
I mean, Lee Sin, commonly known as the king of the jungle, has been the most popular champion jungle for pretty much since he's been released. But Urgot really showing him the business here as Super Copium's bot lane is just poking out Kai'Sa there.
Yeah, very good damage here as the Hextech ultimatum comes through. Now with the Akali there. Oh, the Urgot ultimate from downtown, just to make sure. I mean, you could call it a kill steal, but I'm sure that Urgot calls it a kill secured.
It's a snipe, and we all love to see that Urgot ult animation, the grinder there. And just a great kill by Super Copium, sending 3 to the top lane to finish off that Cho'Gath.
I love it. The execution is perfect. They know that they have the Hextech ultimatum soon. All towards the top side. That Cho'Gath is dead. They all know it, and they just execute perfectly. That Urgot's still not recalled. Recalling right now as I say that. Let's see what items he gets.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Urgot the jungle builds. Oh, I guess the Tiamat. Oh, he's going for the Tiamat
Titanic
upgrade there. Yeah, the Titanic Hydra. Help him clear the jungle a little bit faster and increase his gold lead. Now, Hazardous falling a little bit behind in the early game like we saw last game, but we know, watching the last game, that these guys are capable of making a comeback, and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. And again, that comeback was powered through the mid lane, but now the mid lane not looking as hot as before. I mean, we did say that the Miasma did have some potential, but okay, here in the bot side, looking for the Flash crash down. Will they find the chain CC? No, they won't. The Flash is good in a King's Lad with more than enough HP to get out of the situation, and now this Lee Sin is way too deep into enemy territory. This Tristana already taken one kill, but is there gonna be another for the Akali here? And that's 2 for 0.
Oh, wow.
Scrap that. 3 for 0 for Super Copium, as that's the
It
perfect
goes back
execution being used, and the snipe from the Urgot takes another kill. That's 4 for none for Super Copium.
Just completely outplayed. Lee Sin missing his Q there was a little bit unfortunate, but a huge cleanup by the Kali, and we're about to see the replay here.
I mean, it's just such a clean team fight for Super Copium, is it not?
Yeah,
It's just beautiful.
Akali just showing exactly what Akali does, right? Dashing in, dashing out, outplaying the team, and just that beautiful Urgot ultimate to finish it off and pick up some plates on the bot tower.
This unorthodox team composition that's just full of mid-range mobile carries showing what they got by just, dashing around everywhere and just killing people, doing damage. That's all they need to do apparently to kill people.
Yeah, and they're using those dashes effectively, right? They're dodging skill shots. And some of these champions on the Hazardous sides we didn't really mention are skill shot based. If you can get out of that rel stun, if you can dodge the Kai'Sa W or the Cassiopeia Q, it really heavily impacts how much damage they can pull out as they go for Super Cope. As Super Coping goes for this dragon here, should be free.
Yep, absolutely. They have now they don't have any vision. Kai'Sa going to look for that W, but not going to find it. That's going to be the first dragon of the game going over to Super Copium. Second dragon is going to be that Ocean Drake, so we know that it's either wind or fire.
Yeah, I can't really tell at the moment exactly which Dragon Soul will be helpful for either team. It looks like, I mean, if it is a Cloud Soul, there's a lot of low cooldown ultimates on Super Copium and on Hazardous. Could be valuable for both teams. As we see, Akali already has her mythic item and
Wow.
is looking to be very strong with 9 stacks on Dark Seal.
Sub 10-minute mythic item with an almost stacked ring. You'll love to see it. This is Akali in her prime. This is what you hate to see in your solo queue games.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a very, very strong Akali. That perfect execution, blink of an eye, and one champion is dead.
Yeah, we're about to see Akali pull off some big plays during the mid game. I guarantee it. As we see almost every lane pushing up, dominating their opponents. Lee Sin, I don't know if anyone's... Oh, here comes the Urgot ultimate.
No way! That
What
is
a
just
snipe.
too dirty. These Urgot is just sitting in a bush, sniping people out of their lanes. It's a kidnapping. And it's going to be in favor of Super Copium as they find another kill, just dunking on top of Hazardous bot lane. Okay, but the Cassiopeia finally managed to find a trade kill there with the petrifying gaze on top of the Miasma, but the flash in, the bomb from the Tristana. Will the damage be enough? Yes, it most certainly will be. Super Copium. Hazardous might have taken a single kill, but Super Copium take 2.
Yeah, the Cassiopeia comes down and gets the return kill for the diving Ahri, but Tristana and Urgot chase him down and clean up. Man, that Urgot snipe from the
Oh,
bottom.
here we go. That's R1, that's the E, and here comes the R2, baby. Oh, but the outplay is insane. That Dragon's Rage was so good. But
How
it
do they
doesn't
both
matter.
live?
The sliver of health from both sides. Both ninjas there somehow getting out alive with a sliver of health.
That was a great play, Lee Sin. I'm surprised the tower didn't finish Akali off, but I guess the healing from the mythic item and another fight.
Okay, well, goodbye, Kai'Sa. There's a bomb on your head. You're not going anywhere. You're 6 feet under. As now, that's another kill for this Tristana, and they're just dogpiling on top of this bot lane. There's nowhere for you to go, Rel. This tower is not going to save you. It's low HP. There's a very fed Urgot and a Tristana on the end of this wave. Are they actually going to look for it? You gotta watch out, okay? There's a lot of CC, but it's, again, oh, and the Urgot ultimate is already back up. It's just so unfair. Here comes the meat grinder, and goodbye, Rel.
I feel like I've just seen the same play 3 times in a row. This Urgot is just picking up kill after kill after kill, and they keep diving the bot lane tower. It's unbelievable what they're doing to Hazardous right now.
Yeah, it's nasty. I don't like it. That's, kids, close your eyes. This is not PG-18 here. As, okay, we see the Herald at least being put down in the top side. Some kind of return play for Hazardous in that top side, but is it going to be enough? I don't think so.
Yeah, and I was gonna mention earlier, this is tough, right? If anyone's played Lee Sin jungle in the chat here, it's really hard when all three lanes are losing because you can't pick a lane to go to. As you can see, Lee Sin's farming his blue buff here as there's a fight in the red side jungle.
Yep. And this Rel is most likely dead. Okay, this Akali gonna go for both kills at the same time, and she's actually gonna manage to find both. And now this Cassiopeia, all that she can do is run in the face of this extremely fed ninja with a completely stacked ring. Good footwork there on the Q, but are you going too far deep? I think you might have the shuriken backflip.
Oh,
Will it be your demise to flash in the shutdown for the Lee Sin?
Akali almost outplaying both of those champions, but Lee Sin and Cassiopeia clean it up. Akali showing off the moves, dashing back and forth, picking up both kills as Urgot's going to chase down this Cassiopeia.
Oh yeah, he is mad. He is angry as one can be, trying to find this Cassiopeia, this snake. It's on the menu, and will they actually find it? Yeah, here comes the Tristana, jump on top of you, and they won't even need any ultimates this time to take another kill on the side of Super Copium.
Yeah, you have to feel for Timura, right? He had his Syndra banned, and now he's forced on a champion that he might not have as much experience with. But Super Copium just taking over the game. Every single lane ahead right now. This kind of saving grace has this. They did end up killing Akali, which does reduce her Darksteel stacks halfway. But I mean, everyone's just so fed.
Exactly. What can you do in the face of such large wallets? I'm not sure, as this... yeah, this Rel once again is going to go down to the meat grinder. Kai'Sa, unfortunately, doing so much. Yes, okay, the ultimate is going to be used, and the trade kill will finally be found. That is one fat shutdown that this Kai'Sa definitely wants, and now... this Ahri support is even stronger. It's ridiculous. What is this Kai'Sa supposed to do?
I mean, it's going to be tough. If they can pick up a few more of these shutdowns, it's possible. But, I mean, an 8k gold lead at 15 minutes, that is tough. Once we see Kai'Sa, and there's the Gale Force from Kai'Sa coming out, we need a few more items coming out from Hazardous before they can start trying to get back into this game. There are opportunities here. They do have a lot of CC. Cho'Gath Silence is really good against Akali and Camille. It's going to be tough, but it is possible. It looks like Akali is fighting Cho'Gath in the top lane now, which is not a fair matchup for Cho'Gath.
Yep. It's a 1v2, though. Is something going to happen? The perfect
my
execution, as well as the Shuriken flip. The Ignite is ticking down, and that is another kill on Akali's book. Now 8, 1 and 3, excuse me. That's a lot of kills. And that's a very fed Akali, only getting more fed.
Just clean, right? That's my favorite part of Akali's kit. The fadeaway ultimate. You get the damage off and you get out at the same time. Just very, very clean gameplay by the Akali here.
Love to see it. It's the type of stuff that you see in montages here. As this is a beating. This is Super Copium taking it to the next level with Hazardous here. Hazardous might need a hazardous amount of Super Copium. And that was an extremely bad pun. I apologize. I had to do it at some point. You know I had to do it. It was just too obvious. It was right here. As Super Copium taking down this Rift Herald in the top side.
It was a pretty natural pun as Camille comes in for Cho'Gath.
I like it. I see it. I see it.
They're getting the Rift Herald at the same time here as Lee Sin, Rel, and Kai'Sa coming to try and get the Camille.
Hey, here comes the resonating strike. The CC is coming through. The Hextech ultimatum was used, but so was the hook shot. And that's going to be one kill at least traded for Hazardous. Trying to find some silver lining in this game.
Yeah, pretty solid pickup. They knew they were on the Rift Herald. They knew there was no one else to back Camille up, so they went for it. Pretty good play by Hazardous. They need a lot more of those picks to get back in this game, but it's possible.
Death Bush here for Super Copium. They're going to try to find someone. They're trying to find the Kai'Sa, but they don't find a very good movement there, and that's going to be at least one kill going over to Hazardous. The Tristana jumps in. Does she have the damage to actually finish this team fight? I don't think she does. This Urgot is so close to dying, and is this the comeback? That's a shutdown. That's another shutdown. Hazardous, they taking their game back into their hands, but there's another champion in this bush. Why are you doing there? The TP comes in, but shutdown already onto the Sakali. What happened? It's an AFK! It's a DC! It's a DC, as now it's an ace for Hazardous. What is going on? Why did you not pause the game?
I'm lost for words here. Akali caught AFK in the bush, Camille TP's on top of the ward just to die again, and here comes the pause.
Well, here comes the pause. It's a little too late, unfortunately. Get your mid laner back in here, and I guess that's all you can do. I mean, I'm not sure what to say. Unfortunately, when you're DC like that, I don't. Do we have some rules for this? I don't know. I'm a caster. I'm not a producer. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
My question is, do we have Chrono Break? Are we allowed to go back in time? I'm not sure. I am gonna assume that we don't,
Do we
but
have the technology?
um, I mean, the AFK was one thing, but Tristana jumping in into four members, Ari missing her charm and her Q in that little bush there, spelled kind of a disaster in that topside jungle. Um, they were just a little bit overconfident, I think, Natural.
Yeah. No, Super Copium were definitely feeling themselves on that one. They knew they had a massive lead and they wanted to push it just a little too far, going for some hero plays just a little too much, stretching that lead a little too far, and it snapped. It snapped just a little bit, and I think the real candle on the strawbacks is obviously the fact that, unfortunately, this Akali did experience a DC at a very unfortunate time.
Yeah.
I really wish we had that pause during the DC. That would have made things a lot clearer. But unfortunately now, yeah, I guess we'll have to see what's going on there. Hope to get us back on track pretty quickly. But in the meantime, I guess we'll. Oh,
And we're
never
back.
mind. Okay, we're back onto the broadcast. Let's hope that everything is nice and kosher from here on out.
Yeah, and Akali looked like she might have been able to clean up that team fight, make some huge plays if it weren't for the DC. My stream is
Frozen, and so
frozen.
is mine.
That's okay. We can continue talking about the game. I would be scared though if I was Super Copium, giving away a few more of these free kills, as we all know what we saw from last game. Tymir can carry a game in the mid lane, whether that's on Syndra or Cassiopeia. We haven't seen it yet, but feed him a few more kills. He has 123 CS. It's possible. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we're back to the game now, I guess. Just reminding you of just how attractive I am. No, just kidding. Before we get back into this game, and now Super Copium, yeah, they have to be careful. There is still potential for a comeback. You're super far ahead. It is undeniable. You have two items on your Tristana. Your Akali is turbo fed, but again, you have to be careful. Hazardous, they're not monkeys. They're not just gonna walk away from their keyboards. Okay, they're gonna keep their mental cool, and they're trying to win the game as well. So they have to be careful not to go too far on these plays.
Yep. And the top lane matchup, which has kind of moved around a little bit in this game, is on the timer, right? Camille, as soon as she gets her second item, Cho'Gath, there's literally nothing you can do as a champion. Um, Even with the Thornmail, it is very, very difficult to deal with Camille in the side lane, so I'd like to see some of that. While Super Copium looks like they want to grab some vision around this dragon, which comes up in a minute.
Yeah, absolutely, and I love to see it there from Super Copium. Unfortunate that it's not an Infernal Soul for them. I think the Infernal Soul would have been quite a lot better, especially with the already high amounts of damage that they have. More AP and AD certainly cannot hurt, but unfortunately they'll have to make do with Wind Soul, which isn't too bad either.
Yeah, Cloud Soul is not too bad, but you are right. Infernal Soul, when you have 5 champions that all are damage based, that Infernal Soul just gets so much value. Unlike, for example, if Hazardous got the Cloud Soul or Infernal Soul, it wouldn't be that great on champions like Cho'Gath and Rel. But the Cloud Soul is going to be quite interesting. I like the new Cloud Soul, or kind of new-ish Cloud Soul. You get speed on your ultimate and passive movement speed, along with cooldown reduction on your ultimate. It creates for some more fast-paced team fights, as we see Cassiopeia clearing out the mid lane, and looks like both teams are prepping around this dragon here.
Okay, it looks like the Hextech Ultimatum is going down. They're trying to find a pick before the dragon even starts, but will they manage to find it? Not for now. It's just going to be an ultimate used on the side of Super Copium. That is something that Hazardous, I'm sure that they're paying attention to, and I sure hope they are, because this is their window back into this game if they ever have one. Trying to find a team fight now, but they don't manage to find one. It's just going to be Soul Point over to Super Copium for now.
Yep, the charm went wide, and I would have liked to see Hazardous go for that, just because you know that Akali can't TP down with a Cho'Gath in his face, right? It's gonna get cancelled. So it would have been a straight 4v4 without Super Copium's strongest member. It would have been interesting to see that, but they decided to give up the Cloud Dragon for now, as it's not Soul Point yet.
Hey, Akali flipping out of that and flipping back in. The perfect execution. The first part of it was used, but the health bar is very low. Gonna use that second part to try and get away, but again, it's Lee Sin, Flash Q connects, and that is going to be another kill. Unstoppable on this Lee Sin.
Nice play by the Lee Sin there, flash kicking. Akali a little bit going. I was surprised he went right back in just to get silenced for that Cho'Gath, but that's what happens when you're in the side lane against a Cho'Gath. You get CC'd if Lee Sin's there. It's tough to get away. Super Copium still in the driver's seat, but that's another kill for the Lee Sin, like you said.
Yep, it's we're getting there. It's Hazardous is slowly climbing their way back in. If Super Copium is in the driver's seat right now, Hazard just went from they were like 2 laps behind, and now they are tailgating Super Copium at this point, I will say.
For sure.
It is getting closer and closer. The gap is it's just getting shorter. And the only thing that Super Copium has for themselves is 3 dragons. And some pretty good scaling as well, though. I mean, the scaling, I believe to be on Hazardous sides with the Cassiopeia, the Cho'Gath, and the Kaisa. I think the scaling is pretty decent. But Super Copium has some decent scaling as well, so it's a little hard to tell which team really outscales which.
Yeah, definitely Super Copium has an advantage in terms of the damage side of things, but I think we mentioned this during the draft as well, is that their CC much more unreliable than Hazardous. Rel is a great CC champion. It's very difficult to avoid as they start up the Baron here. You think this is going to be a fight here, Natural?
It definitely could be. Super Copium are looking for it, but Hazardous, they're all moving up, and Super Copium realized that this could be a huge throw. This is the type of Baron that you regret. A few days later, you're in your bed, you're lying down, you're like, oh my god, why did we do that, Baron? So they're not going to go for it as, okay, a Kingsland actually going to use his ultimate there, the hookshot as well, trying to catch onto this Cho'Gath, but the Miasma is there to protect him.
Yep, they don't want to fight in this choke. Not against Cassiopeia when you can get all caught in that miasma and you can't move, right? It's a good decision to back off there, and it looks like they might start the Baron up again. Yeah.
Yep. I like Super Copium's decision making there. They're forcing a choice from Hazardous. They have the Akali pushing the bot lane. It's either the inhibitor or the Baron, and you have to choose Hazardous. What are they choosing? They aren't choosing anything. They are super late onto this Baron. They're trying to take control of it. Will they manage to be in time? It's already super low. It's 1k down, and the smite comes through, and that's it. The Baron is going over to Super Copium. Now, can Hazardous try anything off the back of this play? It doesn't seem like it. Super Copium, very good macro there, and they managed to get pretty much scot-free.
It looks like they're just pulling around Hazardous as a team here. They ended up, Hazardous made a decision. It seems like to me that try and get Lee Sin and Cho'Gath ult to try and steal the Baron while they keep their bot lane preventing Akali from getting the inhibitor. They were just a little bit late to the Baron, unfortunately, and looks like they lost the Baron. But we'll see what Super Copium can do with this. They'll probably have 1-3-1, have Camille in one lane, Akali in the other lane. Pretty difficult to stop that with a crazy 3-man push in the mid lane with Urgot, Ahri, and Tristan. That's just so much damage.
Absolutely. I would love to see the 1-3-1 here coming through. Not something that we've seen a lot in the past few metas, unfortunately, because of the rework Drakes. But here, now that Super Copium has this absolutely massive advantage and those 2 extremely powerful side lane picks, I think the 1-3-1 is definitely a decision, a comprehensible decision, a very good one. As it's exactly what we're talking about. We see the Camille in the top lane, Akali in the bot lane, and the rest of Super Copium trying to look for some picks here on the red buff.
I like what they're doing here.
Actually taking it. They managed to steal away the red buff, as here is Akali being so annoying, just playing in their face, knowing that they don't have the lockdown unless this Akali plays.
Goes back in.
Yeah, goes back in. The perfect execution, the first part of it, as well as the Shroud, trying to find some kind of kill pressure, but they're not going to find it. The Urgot hook for once misses, as well as the second Shuriken flip, so Hazardous they have to back away because of the HP advantage, and with this Baron, this is most likely going to be the inhibitor going over to Super Copium.
I'm loving the macro by Super Copium, right? A lot of teams will run 1-3-1, a very passive 1-3-1, but this is a very active.
Okay, but here comes the engage from Rel, the flash crash down, but it doesn't find much, and neither does the Magnus Storm. The kick is okay, the Kaisa goes into the backline, but the damage, the bomb still on her head. Will it be enough to kill her? Yes, it will. Double kill coming in from the Tristana. The HP bars are very low, and here comes the Camille. The damage is just too much from Super Copium, and wearing purple, Super Copium take our last game of the day. Quadra kill for the Tristana.
Huge team fight by Super Copium, cleaning up all the you see all the dashes for Super Copium, jumping in, Tristana doing so much damage, virtually ignored during this team fight. Nice flash and a nice charm by Ari on that Cassiopeia at the end to finish the game.
Yeah, Hazardous tries to find the engage there. They know that this macro is just pulling them apart, and they try to find the decisive engage, but it's not good enough. The mobility from Super Copium comes in, and they manage to take the game, despite what I will say, a very unlucky DC. I don't think anyone was planning for that. So I guess DCing is OP or something. I don't know. Whatever the lesson learned is, Super Copium take the final game, and I will throw it back to the analyst desk. My name was Natural, and it was a pleasure casting today. Absolute bangers, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.